हेलो एवरीवन। वेलकम टू आवर चैनल द थिंकस्टेट। सो आज की इस वीडियो में हम शुरू करने वाले हैं हिस्ट्री पार्ट 1 बुक का फर्स्ट चैप्टर ब्रिक बीड्स एंड बोर्ड्स द हड़प्पन सिविलाइजेशन। सो दिस चैप्टर मेनली डील्स विद द इंडस वैली civilization, how it emerged, its features, elements, all about its illustration and everything, and how it declines, who which people are involved in discovery of Harappan civilization, what are the things or the theories which are related to the development of the Harappan civilization. So in the first para, you could see that the Harappan seal. It is just talking about the seal which is given here, the Harappan seal figure 1.1, in which a motif like an animal-like structure has been engraved by the Harappan people. Possibly it is an animal called motif, which people believe that there was an animal which the Harappan people reared by themselves. So the Harappan seals were made up of a stone called स्टेटाइट stone से बने होते थे, and the Harappan civilization can also be called Indus Valley Civilization. These it is type of a synonym of this Harappan civilization, Indus Valley Civilization. The name given Indus Valley Civilization is just because the civilization is located along the banks of the Indus Valley Civilization. And in the class 11th, you also read about the civilization, Mesopotamian civilization, which was developed around the Euphrates River, and the Egypt civilization was there around Nile River. So you could clearly see a pattern that all the past civilization, early civilization, were developed around the river. So it can be clearly mentioned, and you could also write in answer that all the civilization are built along the banks of the river because water is a source of life from where the life has emerged. Okay, and in the seal, which I earlier mentioned, there is an animal contain animal motifs and signs which remain undeciphered till date. If our archaeologists are able to decipher this seal, we could see a drastic change or a drastic change in the seesaw. Because if the seals are deciphered, then the history about the Harappan civilization, the way we look around this civilization, will completely change our point of view of seeing the civilization. Okay, so all the things marked in this PDF with the red highlighter are important for the purpose of MCQ writing and the question answer writing. Rest the rest of the content is just to are used as filler word to just fill the gap and not much important for answer writing purpose in CBSE. And one more thing, you have to just focus on the boxes because the CBSE feels very good and enjoys to give questions from these boxes, especially in MCQs, like the dates. You could clearly see that I've I've not highlighted as much as in this, but you could see here the amount of highlight I have done because this passage is very important from the point of view of MCQ writing purpose. Very important. Here the this box mentions about the terminologies, places, and time. The Harappan civilization, also known as Indus Valley Civilization, which we have discussed earlier, have a total time span. The total time span in which the civilization has survived is 600 BC to 1300 BC. 6000, sorry, 6000 BCE to 1300 BC. And you would notice that in history, the dates tend to decline, not increase. You could ask that why from 6000 it goes 1300, why it is not 13,000. In BC in history in past we measure dates in the declining order from 6000 BC to 1300 BC. Got it? And the early phase. Basically, our archaeologists has divided the Harappan civilization into three distinctive phases according to the time, according to the discovery, according to the development which occurred in different phases. First, the early Harappan civilization, which the time span which survived from 6000 to 2600 BC. I think not survived the time period in which the Harappan civilization expanded, the early phase on which the Harappan civilization roots has been established is 6000 BC to 2600 BCE. Got it? And the urban phase, in which the civilization has shown prosperous growth, major discoveries, major architectural purposes, major artifacts, seals which are being returned, the major trade that occurred is possibly found in the mature Harappan civilization. I have used possibly here because in about Harappan civilization we are not 100% sure about everything. Like here in the picture, these things are mentioned in beads, weights, and blades. But if we are able to decipher the Harappan seal, we could possibly see that the interpretation which we have made about these things, that they're beads, weights, and blades, could be possibly overturned by another thing. This could be possible, like it can be used as a podium to put glass on it. है ना? So we don't know about the exact purpose which way for which these things are used. For this, we just compare these things with our present days things and that time of civilization, like Greece civilization. So, if archaeologists founded these cubes and these vessels, they would compare it to the current day things. If they found, oh, these are cubes, these could be used for weighting the things so that they could be traded, right? And the mature Harappan site is about 2600 BC to 1900 BCE, the time period in which the mature Harappan time have been stretched, in which the major things have been developed in the Harappan civilization. And the decadent or the end phase of the Harappan civilization was 1900 BC, 1300 BCE, also termed as the late Harappan. So, the distinctive Harappan pottery, bricks, seals, weight, beads, copper, and bronze article belong to the Harappan civilization of the mature Harappan civilization. Got it? And the Harappan civilization have been expanded to the region of Afghanistan, Balochistan, Pakistan, Sindh, the whole region. The Punjab is called Sindh, now it is with Pakistan. Punjab province of Pakistan, and the Indian state like Jammu Kashmir, Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, Gujarat, and Maharashtra. So you could easily imagine the stretch of the Harappan civilization in the Indian subcontinent, right? This is the map of the Harappan civilization, and these are the important sites which the CBSE asks you to map, especially these: Mohenjo-daro, Kodji, Chanudaro, Balakot, Dholavira, Nageshwar, Lothal, Rakhigadi, Banwali, Kalibangan, Harappa. These are the major sites which the CBSE asks you to mark in the answer sheet in the map, which comes for 5 marks. So you also have to practice maps simultaneously with the content. Okay. So this video will be an introductory video, just giving you a still crux about the Harappan civilization, not going too deep, just discussing the upper part of the Harappan civilization, like beginning, how the Harappan civilization began, how they survived in the beginning, and what are the strategies they used to survive, gather food, and other necessary things. Okay, beginning, the evidence of agriculture and pastoralism has been found in the Harappan civilization. So it can be, concluded out that the Harappan people were knowledgeable about agriculture, how the agriculture works, about the pastoralism, how to rear animals, how to extract edible items from them. So they were quite knowledgeable about both these things. And the archaeological evidence also indicate the emergence of Harappan culture from early framing community dated around 700 BCE. So they are discussed. So this is telling about the Harappan evidence. This also indicate the emergence of Harappan culture from early framing, from early farming communities dated around. So it this phrase is talking about that we could easily see from the information that we could gather from the archaeological evidence is that the Harappan culture has been derived from the farming farming communities existed before the Harappan civilization. Harappan civilization started from 6000 BC to 1300 BCE, and here it is dated about 7000 BCE. So the before Harappan civilization, the communities which existed, the farming communities which had existed, the Harappan civilization communicated or just gathers those technique from those communities to themselves, so they could live. Okay, and the Harappan settlements. So far, more than 2000 Harappan archaeological sites have been discovered all over the Indian subcontinent. And mainly these sites are located between Indus and the Saraswati River. And here, two-thirds of these settlements are in the Saraswati Basin. So it can be clearly seen that major of the settlements were near the Saraswati Basin, suggesting that the Harappan civilization, suggesting the immense importance of the Saraswati River for the Harappan civilization people. And the major civilization of the Harappan civilization, the major sites of the Harappan civilization are Rakhigadi, Mohenjo-daro, Harappa, Dholavira, and Ghanwariwala. Ganbariwala. I think I pronounced it right. These are the five important sites of the Harappan civilization. And according to me, the most important are Mohenjo-daro and Harappa. Among these five, the two most important are Mohenjo-daro and Harappa. And I think these will be surely asked in the CBSE. Second, subsistence strategies. Here, we will discuss about the agriculture and the pastoralism, how both these work in the Harappan civilization. Okay, mature Harappan culture developed in some of the areas occupied by the early Harappan culture. The area in which the early Harappan culture developed, in the same area, the mature Harappan culture also developed, right? And the Harappan people ate wide range of plant and animal including fish. They consumed plants and animals both including fish. And these are based on the evidence which we had found the finds of charred grains, bhune hue, roasted grains, charred grains, and seeds. These are being these are studied by archaeobotanists, the people who are knowledgeable about the plants which the Harappan people ate. Among them are charred grains and seeds, specialists in Asian plant remains. According to me, the CBSE asks a 3 marks question from this para. Subsistence. What are the subsistence strategies used by the Harappan people in the early Harappan culture or mature Harappan culture dated from 2600 dated from 2600 BC to 1900 BC? Illustrate. There's a 3 marks question which CBSE asks, and this is also asked in MCQ that who who studied the find of charred grain and seeds in the Harappan culture. Option: archaeobotanist, archaeozoologist, zooarchaeologist, and paleontologist, archaeologist. Any option they could give to you, and you have to find the correct one. And the correct one is archaeobotanist. Okay. And the other grains which were found at the Harappan site include wheat, barley, lentil, chickpea, and sesame. Millets are being also found from the sites in Gujarat, but the finds of rice were very rare as compared to these grains. Along with the seeds and the other edible items, millets, wheat, we had also found animal bones at the Harappan site, including cattle, sheep, goat, buffalo, and pig. These are being studied by archaeozoologist or zooarchaeologist. Both can be used. the meaning will be same. The people who study the findings of animals. So we could clearly observe and see that the Harappan people domesticated these animals. But we are quite confused that the wild species such as boar, deer, and gharial are also found. So they domesticated them or they hunted them. It is a quite debatable among the archaeologists. And the bones of fish and fowl are also found. I told you earlier that they eat plant and animals including fish, so we have also found the bones of fish. ये हमारा हो गया अब किसका subsistence strategies के बारे में. We have discussed about the what grains were found and what animals were found. Now we will discuss what agricultural technology they used. अगर उन्होंने अनाज उगाया है, so they would have used agriculture. Agriculture means to just grow those millets and wheats, right? And from here, and these are based on evidences. Like here, the archaeologists could clearly found the symbol of bull on the seal, and the full terracotta sculpture was also found of a bull. So we could conclude that the Harappan people were known to the bull, and the archaeologists which they have extrapolate from this that oxen was मतलब which they have extracted understood from this that हड़प्पा के लोग ऑक्सन के बारे में जानते थे कि भाई वो प्लोइंग के लिए काम आता है खेती बाड़ी खेत जोतने के लिए काम आता है एंड वी हैव आल्सो फाउंड द टेराकोटा मॉडल्स ऑफ प्लो हल होता है हल के भी हमें टेराकोटा स्कल्पचर्स मिले हैं साइट से अब आपसे पूछ सकता है वो कौन सी साइट से मिले हैं चोलिस्तान एंड बनवाली चोलिस्तान एंड बनवाली हरियाणा गॉट इट एंड दे हैव आल्सो फाउंड द एविडेंस ऑफ प्लोड फील्ड मतलब जोते हुए खेत जो होते हैं जिन्हें जोत दिया जाता है उसके भी उन्हें एविडेंस मिले हैं कालीबंगन राजस्थान से and they could clearly observe that the field has two set of furrows at 90 at right angle at 90-degree angle each other this way this way so ये इंडिकेट करता है जिससे हम समझते हैं कि दो तरीके के क्रॉप्स एक साथ उगाते थे हड़प्पन पीपल लाइक इन दिस साइड पोटैटो इन दिस साइड टोमेटो व्हीट राइस व्हाट इज वी डोंट नो क्या उगाते थे उनकी जो कल्चर के साथ जो उस टाइम अवेलेबिलिटी के हिसाब से वो उगाते थे इट इज जस्ट फॉर एग्जांपल Harappan sites are located in semi-arid lands. You have to just mention the CBSE would ask in a 3-mark question giving or just give this question from sufficient strategy or लिख के from from agricultural technologies. Okay. Harappan sites semi-arid areas में located थी वेयर इरिगेशन की बहुत ज्यादा रिक्वायरमेंट थी और जब इरिगेशन की रिक्वायरमेंट थी तो हमने ये ऑब्जर्व करा कि हमें कैनाल्स के भी ट्रेसेस मिले हैं कहाँ कहाँ मिले हैं शॉर्ट टू गई धोलावीरा में गॉट इट कैनाल्स की ट्रेसेस में शॉर्ट हो गई अफगानिस्तान में मिली शॉर्ट हो गई कहाँ पे है अफगानिस्तान में कहाँ है पाकिस्तान के ऊपर एक अलग कंट्री है गॉट इट बट नॉट इन पंजाब और सिंध पंजाब सिंध में नहीं मिले सिर्फ शॉर्ट हो गई अफगानिस्तान में मिले हैं इट इज पॉसिबल दैट एशियन कैनाल्स tilted up long ago it is also like water drawn from wells was used for irrigation so वो वेल्स का भी यूज करते होंगे वाटर ड्रॉ करने के लिए इरिगेशन के लिए एंड वी हैव आल्सो फाउंड वाटर रिजर्वॉयर्स पानी की टंकियां जहां पानी स्टोर कर सकते हैं वो हमें कहाँ मिला है धोलावीरा गुजरात ये सब एमसीक्यूज में सीबीएसई आराम से पूछता है हाउ आर्टिफैक्ट्स आर आइडेंटिफाइड Two main types have been found, those on which smaller stone was pushed or rolled to. अब देखिए इसमें से इस पैरा में से they could ask you a passage based question कि आपको इसमें से सपोज एक्सट्रैक्ट दे दिया और नीचे 3 क्वेश्चन दे दिए, 1 मार्क 1 मार्क 2 मार्क, 4 मार्कर अनसीन पैसेज रेडी, गॉट इट, ऐसे चलता है। टू मेन टाइप्स हैव बीन फाउंड। बेसिकली इस पिक्चर के लिए बारे में बता रहा है ये आपको पूरा एक्सट्रैक्ट की पिक्चर। Two main types have been found, those on which smaller stone was pushed or rolled and fro, and others with which a second stone was used as a pounder, eventually making a large cavity in the nether stone. वो कह रहा है कि ये बड़ा स्टोन है, इस बड़े स्टोन के ऊपर इस छोटे स्टोन को ऐसे घिसते होंगे, लाइक सिलपटा होता है उसके ऊपर ऐसे घिसते हैं। इस तरीके से ही हड़प्पन पीपल इस बड़े स्टोन के ऊपर इस छोटे स्टोन को घिसते होंगे कुछ भी पीसने के लिए, टू नैरो डाउन करने के लिए, बारीक करने के लिए, है ना। सो आज की इस वीडियो में इतना ही। आज हमने बस इसका ओवरव्यू लिया, ब्रीफ ओवरव्यू, पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू लिया, बेसिस लिया, रूट्स पकड़ी कि हाँ भाई हड़प्पन पीपल की, हड़प्पा सिविलाइजेशन की स्टार्टिंग कहाँ से हुई, क्या क्या उसके बारे में बेसिक आइडिया था, प्लेसेस थी, कौन कौन सी मेजर प्लेसेस थी, मैप के बारे में डिस्कस करा हमने, क्वेश्चंस डिस्कस करे, एमसीक्यू डिस्कस करे। एंड द फर्दर वीडियो वी विल कंटिन्यू डिस्कसिंग अबाउट द मोहनजोदारो प्लान अर्बन सेंटर, in which we will deeply get into all the infrastructure which were built in the Harappan civilization and the drains, houses, great bath, everything. Okay, so guys, the notes of this chapter will be uploaded on our Telegram channel, the ThinkState. So you make sure to follow this, like, subscribe, and share. Thank you. Stay tuned.